ditch this video and tell me a time when God came through for you. Tell me your testimony.
This is going to be my testimony of God's divine protection. So this here is my testimony. Okay, so let's run it back between the ages of 12 and 13. We're going to go to Auntie house on this one. So this could have been the summertime or maybe just a weekend. I went to go spend the night with my aunt. So this weekend, it was just me and her. She has 3 sons, but it was 2 of them that still lived at home. I'm saying it to say one of my cousins used to have the game system hooked up in his room. So this is the room I'm going in to play the game. So throughout the day, I've been on the game, on and off, playing all day long. So I take a break, I go eat, we had takeout. So I get back on the game and I'm still playing. So between the time of 8 to 10 o'clock, I take another break. So I'm getting ready to go in Auntie's room just to talk to her for a little while. So when I get to her room and she tells me, she's like, you've been on the game all day. And I tell her, I was like, okay, I'm going to play one more time. And then after that, I'm going to put the game up because I've been gaming all day. So I lay on her bed. I lay across the bed and she was just in there sorting through like her mail and stuff like that. So we were just talking. We just sitting there talking now. And when I was finished talking with her, I said, okay, Auntie, I'm gonna go back in here, I'm gonna play the game, and then I'm gonna put it up for the night. And what I remember was I got up, I was laying on the bed. So I rolled over, how you put one leg out the bed just to get up, so you can take off. That's all I remember, was rolling over and putting my one leg out the bed like I'm about to get up. That's it. Lights out. It was dark. Now, I don't know how much time has passed, but I woke up to my aunt doing this right here. She was calling my name and she was whispering. She was like, somebody's shooting in the house. Somebody done shot in the window. Now, this is a 3-bedroom, so we don't know. We just know it's not the room we're in, so it could only be the other 2 rooms or maybe the front, the front room. We don't know. So she was like, I'm trying to find the phone. She was trying to find the phone, and so she can call, 911. And I remember her having to, crawl off the bed to go, look for the phone in her room. It might have been up on another dresser or something like that. Okay, the cops came. It was 2 of them. They were searching the house. Now we're trying to find, which room, that was shot in. We looked through the living room, no gunshots, and looked through both of the rooms. Now it was one of the rooms where they finally found, where the someone had shot through that window. And now they were just trying to find a bullet. The other cop went outside once they found the room, he went outside to try to figure out the angle. And the reason why this, is so, crazy at that time, like, remember, I'm only 12 or 13. It was so crazy because he was in back of the house, shining his lights, looking around. They were trying to figure out how somebody shot up up into the window, because in back of the complex, it was nothing but trees. So they don't know if somebody walked by and shot up, but he was saying they was checking the angles because of the way that it came straight through and went through, through the window and into the closet like a straight shot. So, and he was like, unless somebody was sitting up in a tree and just aimed right into the window just like that, they could not figure it out. But they did find the bullet. And here's another thing. Now, out of all the rooms in the house, a 3-bedroom, the room where, it had been shot through the window was the same room that I was getting ready to go back into. Now, what was so, gave me such the chills and I was scared, especially being only 12 years old, is because I was getting ready to go right back in that room and sit on the floor, which was, level headed to the window. The only thing between that window and that wall was me. And that's what my aunt was thinking about. So she had told me to call my parents so I can go home because, she didn't feel comfortable. She didn't feel safe. We was just going to leave, I think for that night, leave that night or either the next morning. And I was getting ready to sit right back there. That's where I had been sitting all day long because, it was his bed. And I used to sit up against the bed on the floor, and he had, his TV up on the entertainment center. So that's how I used to just play the game, just sitting right there on the floor. It was level for that, just level it, just right through, just like that. Now that was something. Now let me go to my aunt's side of the story. Let's take it back previously. All I remember was getting out the bed. So I asked my aunt, I said, what happened? I thought that I got up and was going back into the room. She said that you started to get out of the bed. And, she was, like I said, she was still, distracted doing her mail and stuff like that. She was like, all I know was you was like, when she looked back over at me, she said, you was knocked out. You laid right back down. It's like you fell back down. She's like, she ain't think nothing of it. She said, but when I looked over, you was knocked out in a deep sleep, just snoring. So she was just like, she ain't think nothing of it. She was like, okay. But a few moments later, it wasn't that long from when she told me. She was like maybe 10 minutes later, 5 or whatever. She said that's when she started hearing shots. So that scared her so bad. And when being 12 years old, 13, and every time, me and my family talk about that, me and my mom, it gave us chills, back then. But man, as I get older, I was just like, God's divine protection. When I tell y'all, I don't know. It was just like, almost like something said, go to sleep. Just like that, just touched me and said, go to sleep. And I just fell back, just like that. And it also reminds me of that time when God was talking about putting Adam into a deep sleep. It felt like that. Like I was just knocked back out. And she said when she looked at me, I was knocked out. She said I was snoring like a deep sleep. And so, after that, she had to pray over the house, pray over us, pray over the family. But that is my testimony and story time about God's divine protection. That's not my only time, but this is just one of the stories I've been wanting to share for a long time with anybody out there. Man, listen, when it's not your time and God had them angels, dispatch them angels out there to protect you, that's exactly what he gonna do. God, listen, this could be my testimony about Jesus' coverage. Because I was covered. Because, when I tell you that window, and it had to be the room that I was in. So, yeah. Anyway, listen, y'all tell y'all story and let people know how God saved your life. Catch them diamonds.